Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Martin, and welcome back to another episode of Skyfactory 2. In today's episode, I'm going to be showcasing a bit of the changes with our base, as well as progressing a bit into magical crops and maybe informing you about what magical crops is. But before I continue any further, please hit the like button and also click subscribe if you're new around here. Also, check out some of my other content on the channel. But yeah, without further ado, there's definitely a lot of changes to the base, as you can see. But first and foremost, I started magical crops already. Magical crops was definitely a big grind, especially in the initial beginnings. So it definitely took a bit for me to get to where I am. I definitely don't recommend magical crops as like the first thing you do for resources, just because of how much of a grind it is. But it's still pretty good, especially later on. So with magical crops, I have created a glowstone crop, an iron crop, obsidian crop, lead crop, nether crop, and redstone. Obsidian allows me to progress my pickaxe to a new level so that I can obtain ores of, I think, diamond level and slightly above. Iron, just because we need good resources. Glowstone, which is needed for the next tier, but unfortunately I'm not ready for that because I am missing a key ingredient, as well as lead was I thought it was gonna be good, but it's kind of half decent. It's not that good, but I still kept it because depending on what I have in store, I can, I guess, use it for, like, you know, creating a beacon or anything. Nether, because it allows me to create soulstone, which allows me to sift for quartz. And then quartz, if I use it in Tinker's Constructs, it adds sharpness to my weapons. But aside from that, it also allows me to create some other items. And then redstone, because I need redstone for power and all. So that's magical crops at the moment. I'll definitely dive a bit more into it later. So moving on here, as you can see, I have created these glowstone nooks, which basically replaces a lot of the torches on certain areas of my base. This is created by, do I have it on me? Yes, I do. By creating an iron saw and sawing down glowstone into these parts. And then over here, I started Tinker's Construct and I created a pretty big thing. This allows me to double the ores that I smelt down. So over here, I also wrote down avoid mixing gold and silver, which creates electrum, I believe. Aluminum and copper, which creates aluminum brass, I believe. Aluminum brass is pretty useful for creating these casts. But aside from that, there's really not much uses to it, so I definitely avoid doing that. I think I had the this crucible last episode. But essentially you put cobblestone, place a torch or like a different heat source underneath, and it slowly melts or cobblestone into lava. I think if you put like a lava underneath it, it would be a lot faster. I haven't spent too much time figuring that out. I created an auto sieve to sieve, you know, items, but I only have a survivalist generator, which is not the most useful thing, but it gets the job done, especially when I'm by myself. Moving over here, I created mycelium, which turns the water on top of the mycelium into witch water, and witch water, when you put sand down, that's how you get soul sand, and that's an easy way for magical crops to progress in like the nether without needing to go to the nether. Here I created a transfer node along with 2 world interaction upgrades so that it automatically you know, mines the cobble. For sure I can create it a bit more efficient if I put additional transfer node and world interaction upgrade into, you know, the different sides where the lava is touching the water, or the cobblestone. But at the moment, because I'm just by myself and these chests are already full, I really don't have a lot of need for the intense progression. It's sufficient. And then over here, I created these better barrels. For the most part, these better barrels are pretty cheap. They are using slabs as well as oak logs and a chest. These fit a lot of stacks of items. I don't know what the max is, but as you can see in the top UI, it does indicate I think 4096 is the max, but then you can also upgrade them. And then so I use them for a lot of the stuff that I get a lot, especially from the mob grinder. So like saplings, cobblestone, and whatnot. And I still have like a lot of chests for other items and whatnot. I created this a lot bigger just because it's one of my food sources. It's not very useful at the moment, because I have a lot of jerky and I don't finish it all. And then lastly, over here, I did make some changes to the mob farm, as you can see. I added a roof on top, as well as created outside borders so that, you know, the mobs don't fall out, especially stuff like spiders. And it's pretty good. I just come here, using these spikes. They are brought to 1 health, and then from there, I just kill all the mobs. And as you can see, I would do it pretty often, and I get like, you know, I'm level 65, so it's pretty efficient. Ooh, I want that heart. Give me that heart. Yes. So the heart is useful because it, you know, you use that for heart canisters. And so using these, creating these heart canisters, you get additional life on top of your max life. I kind of want that chicken, but unfortunately I don't have like a golden lasso at the moment. I think they're kind of expensive, so I haven't done so. But yeah, now I also created a chest, you know, for a lot of other stuff. This chest, I believe specifically, is for my next episode. So I'm not going to be showcasing that. I created this chest for creating stuff, but at the moment it's empty. I have this chest here, which I wanted to showcase, this legendary loot bag. This was something I was working towards creating because there's an item that I really wanted in the legendary loot bag, and I think it might have a higher chance of appearing if I created a legendary loot bag, and I wanted to save it so that I can showcase it on video to see what we get. So essentially you take 4 common loot bags, you put them together, you get a green one, and then using a green one you combine it to a blue, rare, and then rare to purple, which is epic, I believe, and then for epic you get 1 legendary. So yeah, hopefully we get something good. And 6-inch chips and an ender portal frame. Not the best, not exactly what I was looking for, but this would be useful in the future if I collect enough to go to the end. But I think the end is very similar to everything else, where it's you know, a skyblock version, so I would need flight for that. And then these are all the ores I have. I'm still working towards crafting more items. I have enough diamonds to create a diamond seed, but unfortunately I don't have enough the higher tier stone to do so. So that is definitely something I'm working towards, especially with the mob grinder and these loot bags. And so now let me just put things away, and then I will come back and talk about the magical crops. Okay, so for magical crops, I don't recommend magical crops as the way to begin, especially when you're um trying to gather resources, because it's a very big grind. The reason why I did it was because I forgot transfer nodes was a thing until later on, where I was kind of deep into magical crops. In addition to that, there's not a lot of biomes nearby that um allowed me to spawn mobs. But as you can see, um I've expanded outwards a couple areas to try to find a good biome that is not mesa, but I have some luck over there, but it's a very far area. I haven't really spent all too much time you know, building out there. So yeah, so at the moment, because of that, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna stick to magical crops because I already started. So yeah, one thing that I would definitely recommend is creating this watering can from extra utilities. Um, Watering can is pretty simple. You use me, yeah, iron, bow, and bone meal. But because it's pretty resource intensive, you might, that's also why you know, you don't want to really dive into magical crops. There is a reinforced one which is a lot better, but unfortunately you need a soul fragment, a rockium ingot, and I don't have an etheric sword which uses unstable ingots. But that's also one thing that I'm working towards, because these unstable ingots are needed to create the highest tier infusion, or one of the higher tier infusion. Oh, I didn't even realize this. Hey, and infinite durability, that's crazy. Yeah, so as you can see here, this is the highest tier, which is Zavicio. And it requires 2 unstable ingots and an obsidian essence, which I have. And yeah, so how you start with magical crops is when you kill mobs, they have a chance of dropping these Minicio essence, and then from there you surround a either emerald, diamond, or a block of gold to with these Minicio essence to get the infusion stone. So thankfully, when I started, you know, sifting through things, I managed to get a emerald very early on, and because at the moment I didn't have a use for emerald, I decided to use it for the Zavicio, or the infusion stone. And then so from there you grind a lot and you slowly built up so that you can get you know, enough enough to go up to the next tier. So from the weak infusion stone, you get to regular infusion stone. So using a weak infusion stone, and you're surrounded by these different essence. Nature essence was the easiest, I believe, if I recall correctly, to make. And which is you surround a nature seed with any of these stuff. Because I already started a farm, that was the easiest thing to use. So I created nature essence, or nature seeds, and get a nature essence, and then once I had enough, I was able to create a regular infusion stone, and then from there I moved on from a regular to a strong, which was a bit more difficult. Here it required a lot of more higher tier stuff. I believe lead, yeah, lead was something that you know, I was able to get kind of easily with the sifting. So I used lead, and that's also why I crafted lead crops. And then from there, lead, you need next tier after strong would be Zavicio, and as you saw the recipe previously, yeah, it's difficult. So what is my current goal right now with magical crops? Why am I showcasing magical crops when I already have a lot of, you know, progression already for it? Just content really. I was hoping to do more of these in video, but unfortunately because of how grindy it was, I was like, okay, maybe I should progress. And then as I continue progressing, I realized how much of a grind it was, and then I just got to a point where I didn't really showcase I didn't felt like I was able to showcase it without, you know, needing to have a lot of cuts and edits and whatnot, because it's such a big grind. But yeah, one thing that definitely helped is Tinker's construct, which I can explain in a separate video or maybe in this video as well. I have no idea yet, but yeah, one of the things that is also easy to get is obsidian. So once you have you know, lava created or creating, and water is also you know, you already have water from raining within a good biome like this river biome. What you would want to do is, I believe you put water or lava into a oak barrel, and then, or for example, lava, and then you take water, and maybe it's the other way around. Shoot, how did I do this? I'm pretty sure it's using a barrel. You use a barrel, and then you, oh shoot, let me type in obsidian. Yes, so you have what? Oh, I think I was looking at the wrong thing. Huh. For some reason, I don't really recall how I got the obsidian. I recall I had to like put it in a barrel, and then you put water over it. But yeah, it doesn't seem like I was able to. Or maybe I put it over the crucible? No. I'm pretty sure it was a barrel. I either filled it with water or lava, and then I put the thing over it. The other item over it. But yeah. Now it seems like I just kind of cheated, but rest assured, I definitely put it in a barrel. I think it says stone barrel. I think stone barrel might be the way to go with it, but I don't recall making one because I've checked all my my chest. But yeah, unfortunately, yeah, either that or I opened a green loot bag, which seems like the most obvious thing. But yeah, another thing here is a solar panel, which I am actually what I'm working on. As you can see here, it also takes a lot of resources, so that's why I am not doing it at the moment, and it's gonna be its own separate episode. But yeah, so my goal right now for magical crops, I think I was supposed to explain it, but I kept getting distracted a couple of times. One would be getting enough loot bags from the mob grinder to get a legendary loot bag, and from the legendary loot bag, I am hoping to get a thing called it's a tablet. Not a tablet. Pretty sure it's a tablet. Okay, it's unstable ingots, and then you need a division sigil. So to get a division sigil, it comes in a loot bag. But I believe it is in like, yeah, legendary loot bag. There's a good chance. So that's why I am working towards getting a legendary loot bag and legendary. Once I get enough legendary loot bags, I hopefully have enough luck to get the division sigil, and then from there I can craft stuff like the unstable ingots, which would be very useful. Another thing that I should have showcased is my flint broadsword is at legendary skill level. I believe legendary is not the highest. You can go further up. And this was created with Tinker's Construct, and Tinker Construct is very good. I think I'll definitely showcase it in a separate video. But Tinker's Construct is fairly simple. Sure, there's definitely a lot of videos on it already, but Tinker's Construct allows you to level up the item as you use it often. And then from there you gain different abilities that suit your needs. So for example, I was hitting the mobs a lot and I got sharpness, which is, as I mentioned, from quartz if I want to do it myself. Knockback, which I think it just knocked the mobs back. It was because I was hitting them a lot and knocking them back. Moss is auto repair, but slow, and it requires sunlight, I believe. And then lifesteal from necrotic bone. But additionally, as you can see, I have 5 modifiers, so I can put things like obsidian on it to reinforce it. I can change from a flint broadsword to like a lead one or whatever. It really depends, so that's why Tinker's Construct is so good. And so once I get the unstable, the division sigil from the loot bag and the I can craft unstable ingots. Then I can progress further into the Zivisio, so I can craft diamond seed, and then from there I can get Zivisio armor, which is pretty good. I think by default Zivisio armor gives you the option to fly, which is pretty good. But I mean, I can also create the lower tier ones. But at the moment I only have 4 diamonds, so I don't have enough to craft a set of diamond armor. Another thing I was considering in terms of helping me progress a lot easier are 2 additional mods. The first being EMC, which provides this value called EMC to a lot of the regular Minecraft blocks. I think for majority of it kind of interacts with different mods, I think, to provide them the modded items with some value. I'm not 100% sure about that, but for sure it provides vanilla items, with an EMC value, which allows you to learn an item using a transmutation tablet, as well as you get to use basic items like cobblestone and transmute it into a diamond, let's say, or an iron. And so it definitely makes progression a lot easier, especially when I'm grinding by myself. But as well as also, it's not like super cheap, like cheating wise, because there's definitely other mods out there. Like for example, the chicken chest, which allows you to essentially duplicate anything or most things within your inventory. That is pretty cheating, or an excessive cheating. And then another mod that I want to add is called the Beneath Portal, which just adds a bit of content as you can explore a different world. Another reason why am not going to the Nether at the moment, despite having enough, obsidian to create a portal, is because I want light before I get there. And another way to get flight, either from the Zavisio armor, would be from angel rings. Oh, I spelled angle. Angel rings, but also you requires unstable ingots, and a nether star, which I don't have. So yeah, I think that is relatively good update. I'm obviously gonna keep grinding, and the next episode, I think I already showed it, but what I'm trying to work towards is getting better solar panels and working towards getting a better power source so that I can, auto sieve a lot better, as well as progress in terms of the next stage. But yeah, I think that is good for this episode. I rambled a lot. I didn't really showcase magical crops as much as I like. I might definitely dive in to that next episode, but I think I gave a good enough explanation. But yeah, if you have enjoyed, please consider hitting the like button and also clicking subscribe. That'll be greatly appreciated. Unfortunately, the twerking does not work, but yeah. Thank you for watching. You are loved. Goodbye for now. Peace.